Cage Fury 134, August 16th, the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Doesn't get much better than that, except the fact that Frank Wells is back in action. Frank, how
Oh,
we doing, man?
doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Good to talk to you. Just said it's been a while. And last time out, you're supposed to have that vacant or interim or something featherweight title shot. Unfortunately, the fight against Delemmy's off. Why? What happened?
So I've been doing a ton of sparring, working with a lot of tough guys, because Delemmy's a tough guy. And then I was on, I think, my second to last sparring session, and I partially tore my LCL. So
Mm.
I was just kind of like in an exchange. I heard like a loud pop, felt pretty weak. By the time I got home, I could barely pick my foot up off the floor. Um, I went I went to my guys at Thrive, and they actually helped a lot. They made it a lot better, but like a partially torn ligament in 13 days out was
Yeah.
just not there. So that happened. I think it was like the last day of March, and I really wasn't able to pick it up again until maybe like 3-4 weeks after we were supposed to fight to start like hitting it hard again. So big bummer.
All good now, though? Knees all good?
Yeah, yeah. So did a bunch of physical therapy with Thrive, and one of my sponsors in New Jersey. They do really good work. And then I also got some PRP shot in my knee, and that worked wonders as well. I had never used it before, but I did, and felt way better, like almost instantly. So that was pretty cool.
Is that still a fight you want, Delemmy, or were you more so tied to the belt? Like, what's the thoughts there?
No, I mean it was more about the belt. Delemy is a great challenge and a really good test. It's always a little weird when I'm fighting law MMA guys because I'm friends with like
Yeah, you guys know
half
each
of the
other.
team. Yeah, I've trained with the bunch. I'm friends with some of them. So it's always like not ideal when I have to fight them, but a big challenge. And the CFFC bell was like, gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
And I mean, you haven't fought yet in 2024. I'm sure that's
Correct.
driving you crazy. Like, how, I
Yeah,
guess, how hungry are you heading into this one?
I'm dying. I'm dying. So they said even though I couldn't hop back into training until like full board training till like the first week of May, I was still trying to fight on the June 14th card. Just because I was in such good shape for April. I didn't feel like I fell off that much in that off time. And yeah, so I've been basically, with the exception of that couple weeks where I was healing, I've been in a camp since like February. So I'm just ready to rock.
And then do you have a new opponent for this one? Like, I know there was some trouble. What happened for
Yeah.
134?
So I had another guy from law, but it was a guy that didn't speak English that well, and I didn't know him, so I felt less weird about that. But they let me know. I want to say it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that he had actually broken his foot.
Mm.
So that was unfortunate. And then really big credit to Arias. Within like 3 days, 3 or 4 days, he had sent me three different guys
Wow.
to choose from, and the matchup that made the most sense was this new guy, David Magoyan. I want to say his name is from. He's originally from Russia, but he now trains an American top team.
What, like Coconut Creek American top team down in Florida?
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, what have you seen from David? I didn't get to, I'll look him up right now as you're talking, but I mean, from what you've seen of him, or at least, you know yourself, how do you feel about the matchup? Like, does the short notice change up do anything for you?
Not really. The original opponent that I had, there was not a ton of film on him, so I wasn't too dead set on a specific game plan. I was just getting ready to sharpen all my weapons and hurt somebody, you know. So it's not like I was going one way and then had to course correct for a new guy. I found some of David's fights, and yeah, picked out some things that we're going to utilize to hurt him pretty bad.
You know how to spell his last name? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah, it's not in front of me, but I'm a psycho, so I look it up 4 times a day. It's Mgoyan.
David McGoyan. Let's see what he's got. 4-0 fighter. I don't know the guy. For 4-0 fighter out of Florida. What's he got? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes. So impressive LFA experience. So yeah, I mean that's a big name right there. Like that's a win. Like you're already riding a 2-fight win streak, right? One of
Yep.
which was an extremely exciting, brutal leg kick performance. It was awesome. The Wustag fight was great too. Not saying that, but a third win in a row against the guy, who's also 4-0, looks like he's out of a great gym with a good record. Do you need to do something extra spectacular here, or does a win by itself get you a title shot?
I mean, whether I get a title shot or not isn't really up to me. I think a finish is pretty vital here as far as me getting called up to the next level. I really wanted to get a finish against Lustig, especially since nobody had really finished him since he came
He's
back.
tough, man. He's a tough kid.
He's a tough, durable guy. I was like pretty banged up in that fight too, so I was like not at my full capabilities either, unfortunately. Um, but this one I think would be a really good stamp. Oh, sorry, my phone's sliding here. I think this would
Very
be a
good.
really good stamp because this kid's 4-0, 4 finishes, 3 of them in the first round. Uh, so would I stop everything he's doing and then bludgeon him and break his will and then try to get him out of there? I think that'll elevate that much more, you know? And yeah, it's cool. He's undefeated, but again, CFFC is for the most part only throw me to the wolves. So my 9th fight with them is going to be my 4th undefeated guy, 5th scheduled undefeated guy. So it's like, yeah, undefeated's cool, but it's nothing new to me.
I mean this will put you at 6-3 with 3 in a row. So,
Yep.
like you said, or I guess like I said, title shot potentially next, like it was already supposed to happen. But you just mentioned the next step, the big leagues, obviously UFC,
Yeah.
PFL, whatever it be. Is that kind of your 2025 goal? Like I've known you for a few years now. We've been talking about it, but you've always said soon, soon. Do you think 2025 is hopefully the year?
Yeah. I just got to get out and compete because I really wanted to be knocking on the door by the end of this year. I wasn't planning on not fighting for 8 months. Like I said, yeah, I have literally been preparing for a fight since
Yeah.
February. So this, what is that? Like a 26-week camp for
Jeez, man.
for this fight is like, so I got set back a little bit in my goals for this year, but yeah, I mean I should put a good win out there now. Gonna try to go again in December as long as nothing's too injured, and then turn around early next year. I like fighting. I fight best when I do it a lot. I think feeling comfortable and the experience is a really valuable thing to bring into the cage. And between like COVID and injuries, people pulling out, I haven't been able to fight at that same pace that I was as an amateur. So I think, yeah, to answer your question, two good wins this year, another early one next year, and then we start knocking on that door as like a replacement or contender series type of thing, before August rings around next year.
Love it, man. And did you get the chance to pop into Catones at all and actually train with any of those UFC guys, Islam, Khabib, and company?
I did. They did not have, or not they have. They mostly went with each other. It wasn't
Yeah.
like they worked with us a whole bunch, but I did get to work with some of the guys that nobody's probably really ever heard of, but they're still extremely good. Um, Tough undefeated guys. And then honestly, probably the most I learned the entire time was when Khabib showed up and I watched him wall wrestle Bilal Muhammad literally to death for like 10 straight minutes. And I just sat there with like an audio message and just took like voice memos while I watched. And I feel like I got so much better in 15 minutes just watching Khabib do what he just did. So osmosis on top of seeing their work ethic and the way that they train. Again, obviously, I wasn't training directly with them, but
Sure.
you can just see, all right, well, these are all the best guys in the world, and this is how they're doing it. So maybe I'll do more of that.
And just talking to
Not a
like,
bad formula.
yeah, no, then just talking to like Luke and Galanti, like they said, just watching them, like you're saying, did leaps and bounds for them.
Huge.
And they said they got some advice to some, like just little bits and pieces from talking to people. Like I don't know, I just imagine having Khabib, Bilal, Islam, that's 3 world champions of the UFC. Just to be in their presence, I feel like you take something away. But did anybody give like a piece of advice, or did you at least get to talk to any of those big 3 or anything?
Not the big three, but again, like some of the other guys that were there.
They're all
Uh,
incredible. That whole Dagestani crew is vicious
yeah,
monsters.
they were very, very good. Um, so yeah, no, I didn't get to talk too much to them, but it would just be like a quick little exchange after rounds to like just pick little things here and there, But I think watching was the best for me.
That's a great takeaway, man. And I'm really glad that they got into
Yeah,
Catones. It was Catones is the
me too.
spot, so glad it got on the
Yeah.
map with that one, man. That was cool. And then last question for me, man. You and Tyree Sutton, you guys are boys, right? You guys train at Institute.
We were just training together 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Oh, is that where you are? You at the institute right now?
Yes, sir. Bang, bang. Just finished
Oh,
up
that's beautiful
practice.
in there. Word.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna ask. Like, I got to see Tyree fight last time. I'm friends with Jose Soto, who he's going up against, but Tyree has been nothing but impressive. And
Yeah.
he went from being someone who I didn't really know, wasn't really on my radar, to now I'm like, yo, I can't wait to see this guy fight. So, how
Yeah.
is the energy you two like training together, knowing you're gonna be on the same card? Like, does that add any extra level of hype or motivation, I guess, so to speak?
I think it's gonna be pretty fun. I've never been on the same card as Tyree. Tyree only started fighting like a year or two ago, but we really put him in the gauntlet where like last year, I think he fought 4 times in 8 weeks, and it was
Jesus.
like kickboxing, MMA, kickboxing, MMA. So he's like switching rule sets. He's fighting every other weekend. Is like really kind of ramping him up to speed. And his wrestling was already so good that he just needed to sharpen his striking up, and that's coming a long way. And yeah, I really like his chance. I think it'll be fun to watch him fight. I'm assuming he'll be a little bit before me, so I want to watch him fight and then use that as some energy to pick me up. But again, it's cool watching his striking grow with his wrestling being so good already. And you watch his highlights as an amateur, he's fucking launching people halfway over the cage. He hits really hard. Wrestlers, I feel like, tend to know how to use their hips real well to punch. So seeing him like knock people out, big slams. Last fight, he hits a nice little trip in the clinch, and then he's got the guy pinned up and just unloaded on him. So he's been really fun to watch develop.
Now, okay, so I don't know if you guys, I assume you know this. I'm writing an article on it, but Jose is actually blind in one eye.
I
Tyree's
had a
opponent.
feeling.
Yeah, he was in a paintball accident when he was like 16. Crazy.
Okay.
Do you guys like, or I don't know, does Tyree like prepare for that at all, or do you just completely overlook that? It doesn't matter.
I don't know if you heard Mike Burke yell out, but
No, what do you
yeah,
say?
he's like, we're spamming left head kicks. It's like, yeah, I mean, I I'm not a part of like Tyree's preparation very much, as not much more than I teach some of the classes that he hops in and takes. But my first inclination would be like, well, let's test how he reacts to a side he doesn't really see on. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like in training, I'll get like poked in the eye or something, but you kind of
Sure.
try to keep the round going, and it's like, man, this kind of sucks. Like you don't realize how much your vision goes away when one of your eyes is compromised. So he seems to be doing pretty well so far. So I mean, good on him. And he's at a Marquez MMA. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
he trains at Marquez, Webb, Taino. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a really good. I've trained down there a bunch for some of my fights in the past. I mean, it's a really good room. So I haven't watched any of him, but I imagine he's solid. And he's a tough guy. So like tough matchup for anybody. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be really fun to see.
Oh, that's like fight of the night written all over it right there. Just knowing both those guys, that's going to be a banger. This whole
Yeah.
card, top to bottom, is stacked. That's how Cage Fury does when they come to AC. But yeah, that's a good fight. So hopefully I can talk to Tyree after weigh-ins and get an interview with him. But regardless, Frank, appreciate your time, my man. Before I get you out of here, anything you want to say to all your fans? Like you said, it's been 8 months. People are dying to see you back
Yeah.
in there, bro.
Yeah, just be ready for some violence. That's like all I've been working on. That's what I was working on for the Dilemi fight. That's what's been going on for this one. Is if people make mistakes or give me opportunities to hurt them, those opportunities are going to be taken. So I am fully gunning for fighting less than 15 minutes. You know what I mean? We get paid by the gig, not by the hour. So I'm trying to get in and get out and make a nice highlight.
Love it, bro. You're getting me more excited than I already was. But ladies and gentlemen, August 16th, it's 12 days
Boom.
away from now, probably next week when I drop the interview. It all goes down at the Hard Rock, and
Yeah, yeah.
Frank Wells is back. Choppa. Frank,
Ready to rock.
thank you, my man. Kick some ass, all
Yeah,
right?
you man. Thank you. I'll catch you at the weigh-ins.